This should be interesting.
Black Desert Online has been out for almost 10 years now and is still going strong
Long.
today thanks to consistent updates from developers Pearl Abyss, as well as the game being best in genre for combat and visuals. We love
Nice.
MMORPGs because they let us craft our own stories in the digital realms of a game. Similar to many sandbox MMOs, Black Desert boasts a decade-long history filled with epic adventures and crazy stories. Today, let's embark on a journey through the history of BDO together. Joining me is my editor, a seasoned BDO player. I'll share the most incredible events in BDO history, some you may know, others not, so grab some cron food, saddle up your tier 9, and follow me through the stories where players left their mark in the history books of Black Desert Online.
Now, I have never even played Black Desert, even though I have heard it's a good game and now there's less pay to win. Well, there's a lot less pay to win, so it's more beginner friendly and whatnot. But man, the history of BDO. Admittedly, nothing will ever come close to the history of EVE Online, because that thing is wild. But if BDO has been around for 10 years, which is a very, very long time, by the way, it kind of amazed me. I didn't think it was that old. It probably does have a couple of good moments at least, huh?
But first, today's sponsor, Star Trek Fleet Command.
Oh
Embark on
boy.
an epic journey in Star Trek Fleet
That
Command, a
sounds
free-to-play
amazing.
10 epic shards of Kirk. Download now. The Blue Data Leak. Let's start with the event horizon of BDO, probably the most impactful thing that happened in the game's history that changed things forever. In the early days, Black Desert Online was shrouded in mystery. We had no clue about enhancement percentages or whether an item provided evasion or damage reduction. Honestly, nobody knew.
Wow.
The developers intentionally kept things unclear. Everything changed in late 2017 when the
Wait, what do you mean? You're telling me BDO at the start of itself didn't tell you what armor does? Does it reduce damage? Does it give dodge chance? Does it do what? So, how could you even tell which armor is good?
streamer Blue, together with other data miners, found multiple hidden files inside the latest patch for the game. Typically, in most games, sensitive information is safely encrypted in the game's files, but this time Pearl Abyss kinda forgot to secure those files.
Nice.
They left them in a folder you could easily check without needing encryption or shady tools. This is when Pandora's box was opened, and Blue shared a huge Google document with thousands of lines revealing hidden game data. The document spilled the beans on everything: the tiny hidden numbers, success and failure percentages for gear enhancement, and all those mysterious calculations the game does behind the scenes. This is why when you look at an item in Black Desert now, there's a small number below the main stat, what you might have heard referred to as hidden stat because, well, it was hidden. This might not sound like a big deal now, but back when everything was
It sounds kind of useless, honestly, in my opinion. Kind of slightly stupid, I guess. Also, can't people figure out crafting chances and success chances just by doing 100 attempts? Well, if they succeed, then, you know, that's kind of like meh. But they should... Dude, this doesn't seem like a good system. This seems like something that pisses off most people, honestly, and does nothing else.
was hidden, only a handful of folks really knew what items were good or bad. People had to spend countless hours testing to discover the optimal build for their class, and not everyone shared their findings. Blue got permanently banned for this, and Pearl Abyss wiped out any evidence of the data leak. It's pretty tough to find information about it online now, but there's no denying that the game would be totally different today if it weren't for this major leak and Blue's role in it. Lukaris Game of Guilds. You can't talk about BDO's history without mentioning Lukari, the king of the NA server. Before branching out to other games, Lukari was the biggest streamer in Black Desert, leading the infamous guild Man Up. He gained fame in the BDO community through his
Man Up, no, that's a good guild name.
Video series Game of Guilds, which has become a window into Black Desert's history. This series, full of drama and tension akin to a HBO show, captures the thriving siege scene of that time. It reflects an era in Black Desert where players aspired to join the top guilds, engage in epic battles, and be part of something more meaningful than just grinding mobs in a circle. Lukari's Game of Guilds were the best PvP meme videos I've ever seen. My favourite one was the barcode arc, which tells the epic tale of how after holding a castle for 7 weeks, Manup got zerged by half the server, and in perfect shonen anime fashion, Lukaris went into a train.
Okay, going zerked by half the server is pretty impressive. I have to actually give that to them. Yeah, that sounds a pretty good way to go.
Arc and got his revenge, claiming back his crown as king of the NA server.
Push in, nuke this shit. Big AoE on my ping. That's a good wipe. Keep going, do not stop. Do not stop. Push in, keep pushing in. My ping, my ping. We got it. Fuck yeah, baby.
1v1.
What up, baby?
Oh, that's a Taylor Swift song.
Rock Look Deep. If these 3 words together confuse you, don't worry, you're not the only one. Up until a few years ago, Pearl Abyss used to run a summer event called Mysteries of Summer, a uniquely crafted event where the devs would create puzzles.
Well, I mean, at least that's kind of short and to the point. The summer event that's called the Mysteries of Summer. I kind of understand what it's about. I kind of like it. It's not called the Makoko Express, which makes me think, maybe I'm special, and on the wrong side of special.
Puzzles and riddles for the entire player base to figure out. The reward? A fancy title, some cash shop currency, but most importantly, the biggest EP you could imagine.
Wow.
Typically in MMOs, seasonal events are just repetitive, brainless tasks that you do once a day or week for a participation prize.
True.
Yeah, Mysteries of Summer was none of that. In fact, it was a cutthroat race to the finish line where very dedicated groups of people would lock themselves away for weeks, trying to figure out a way to complete the riddles before everyone else. This is where the infamous Rock Look Deep hint came from. Pearl Abyss trickled down small hints to help people catch up to the event. Chapter 5 in particular was extremely obscure and took the longest for the community to solve.
Okay.
The solution was to look up a guild in-game called Squares and Compasses and type the bolded words in the guild's picture, which came out to, "You forget the rock look deep." PA has been a good sport about it, realising it was a bit of a fuck up on their part, and put out a nice little title to go with it. Rock Look Deep. Ogre Ring. Similar to...
That's the most random thing ever. Now, a good quest with a puzzle is pretty cool, honestly, in my opinion, but that just seems random. A part of the puzzle is finding a guild with a specific name and then just writing random stuff in there something? Dude, that's insanely stupid.
Other MMOs, BDO now offers a variety of endgame gear choices, new and
Dude, I have to say, I didn't think most people were pretty pissed about that.
powerful accessories are released periodically, often making the old ones a bit less impressive. During the first 2 years of the game's launch though, one accessory reigned supreme, the Ogre Ring. Now, the name is a bit misleading, as the item wouldn't go in the ring slot, but the necklace slot. As to why you would put an ogre's cock ring around your neck, well, that's none of my business. The Ogre Ring used to be the best accessory in the game, offering the highest stats. However, getting it was a tough task. You had to defeat ogres in the Mancha Forest, a hotly contested area with a very low...
I mean, it doesn't look that bad. He already has gotten, like, what is this, 1/6, 1/7 of his HP bar down? Yeah, 1/6 of the HP bar down. Doesn't look that bad. Okay.
Low drop rate. In the first month of the game, something miraculous occurred. In Black Desert, failing to enhance an accessory usually leads to tears and regrets. So owning an Ogre Ring was already a significant status symbol, but enhancing it was seen as pure madness. Streamer Organaria pulled off something that's...
Oh yeah, because in Black Desert Online, when you enhance things, they sometimes explode. Or degrade in quality, which is even worse. Well, actually, it's not worse. It's the gear doesn't explode, but degrading in quality doesn't put you back at 0, -1. There you go. It's not great. This is why a lot of people don't want to play Black Desert, because of this enhancing style. And Black Desert's gear upgrading style actually, kind of ruined it for Lost Ark, because people automatically assume that it's the BDO style. But no, in Lost Ark, if you fail to hone, well, you just hone again, but you don't get a penalty for it.
a once in an MMO history event. Not only did he acquire 4 Ogre Rings, but he also successfully enhanced all of them, obtaining a Ogre Ring within the first month of the game's release.
Wow.
It's hard to express how incredibly unlikely this was. To put this into perspective, having a Ogre was considered amazing even more than 2 years after Orca achieved his Ogre. Addicted
Wow.
1v6. Now let's discuss something that I was personally involved in. Black Desert was once renowned for its epic large-scale battles. Guilds clashed
Never even heard about this.
to seize control of a castle, with the victorious guild gaining command and defending it the following week against challengers. Owning a castle was a major advantage, allowing you to perch on the walls and unleash havoc on hordes of enemies attempting to overwhelm a narrow passage.
Okay, that makes sense because that's kind of what walls are made for. That's kind of the advantage of walls. That's pretty much exactly what you want from walls on one hand. Okay, that makes sense.
It wasn't uncommon for multiple guilds to form alliances to take down the defending force. This ensured a fierce battle, but with the predictable outcome of the alliance emerging victorious. However, in August 2017, a shift occurred in the European region. 6 guilds gathered their camels and tents to siege the desert castle of Valencia against Addicted, the defending guild, a guild that I happened to be a part of at that time.
Okay.
It turned into an utter massacre, with the first player in Europe to earn the ultimate weapon title, which you get for getting over 300 kills. And from Addicted's side, we logged over
300 kills? That does not sound that impressive, does it? 300 kills? Really? You can get 300 kills in World of Warcraft in a day of Battlegrounds. Is this like time gated or something like that? 300 kills is something like extremely hard to achieve? Doesn't sound like it.
9,000 kills.
9,000? 9,000 kills?
It marked the largest
Nice.
battle to date where the defending guild emerged victorious. For me personally, this 4-hour siege was probably the most fun I've ever had in an MMORPG. I recorded the entire thing and still have it as an unlisted video on my YouTube channel. By
Wow.
the end of the siege, I personally racked up over 200 kills and got the title Special Force Commander for a week. So this one definitely goes down as one of my favourite memories.
What do you mean for a week?
Is not just in BDO, but in all MMOs.
Push the back. Area group 3 in 3, 2, 1. Chat, you have area ready. Pop it. Make sure you focus killing now and ignore everything else.
Okay, really get to the product.
Push, 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 push all the way through. Push all the way in. Go, go, go. Go in through the base, into the base.
Into the base, guys. Into the base, into the base, into the base.
Yeah, we are.
Go, go, push.
Oh, the base just randomly spawns. Okay.
Push, 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 push. This is important. Through the gate. Through the gate. Back
Come
to
on,
base.
boys! Fucking go!
Area group 1.
Jeez.
Pop it. Area group 1. Pop it. This is important. Pop it now.
D-Jules Pen Journey.
Wow.
If you've played BDO, you're familiar with the highs and lows of enhancing gear. If you were around in 2018, you undoubtedly remember the adventure to Pen by D-Jules. European streamer Jules was determined to achieve a pen weapon, the most challenging enhancement level.
What is a pen weapon?
Unlike accessories, a failed weapon enhancement doesn't break the weapon, but decreases its level. As a small consolation, you earn fail stacks, increasing your chance of success on the next try.
Okay.
Despite numerous failures, Jules persisted. Gradually, more and more people joined along for the ride, witnessing what was at the time the most unlucky man in Black Desert Online.
Ooh, he did it? Wow.
If your pen speed taps, go try it, and then duo, and then try again, and start all over again. Woo!
Eventually, he finally got his Penzarka at 348
What the hell is this?
fail stacks, one of the highest stacks seen at the time, immortalizing this moment forever in the history books of Black Desert. Server merge. Player conflicts in BDO don't just occur in organised sieges, but also in the open world. Currently, there are 2 servers in the West, the European and American ones. However, the situation was a bit different initially. In the first year, each server was divided into 3, Olliston, Jordine and Croxus for EU, and Uno, Orwan and Eden for NA.
Wow.
All 3 of these servers were well populated, each with its own distinct community, leading to frequent arguments about which one was the best. Initially, it was
Yeah, that's
more
good.
like dogs barking at each other from behind a closed gate. However, in late 2016, the 3 servers merged into one, sparking one of the biggest conflicts in BDO history.
Oh, nice.
This union brought about daily open-world skirmishes, guild war declarations, drama, and the formation of new friendships and rivalries. It marked perhaps what was most the active period in the game's PvP history, with every guild engaged in constant battles day and night to determine the top contender and ruler of this newly unified server.
Huh.
It was a remarkable and peak moment in BDO, and it's doubtful
That seems pretty interesting. Imagine you're some rando dude who has no idea what's happening or why it's happening, and then you just walk past this, and suddenly you see 300 people just going at it. Yeah, that's a pretty good experience, I would like to say. That feels like something I would enjoy seeing in a game.
that we'll ever witness something like
You know, it adds flavor. You know, stuff like this adds so much flavor to the game. Like, a lot of people don't even play EVE Online, right? But everyone has heard a story about something legendary happening in EVE Online. A 1-month siege of a fortress? Bro, EVE Online has those things happening for half a year, okay? And your job is literally just to be logged in and camp in a location so no one escapes. It's crazy stuff. But I guess this is as good as it gets for other games.
that again.
Cool.
Shovelgate.
Anyway.
Pre-server merge time, PvP drama wasn't the only controversy. Right before the server merge, the largest ban wave in BDO history occurred, and it all revolved around a shovel.
Nice.
There's not much to elaborate on, but in late 2016, people discovered that by a clever use of game mechanics, they could essentially AFK and make big money by shoveling in the desert. Normally, if you use a shovel in the desert, there's a slight chance at gathering a rare item.
Okay.
The catch is you'll take damage over time, and your inventory will be filled with junk after a while. However, some crafty individuals figured out that if you filled your inventory with random items, leaving only one slot open for the rare drop, and position yourself in a very specific desert spot where the developers forgot to apply the debuff, you could amass wealth much faster than anyone not employing this method. And so
Okay.
people started digging. Pearl Abyss wasn't pleased with this, leading to the most extensive ban wave in BDO's history. Thousands of accounts, including
Wow.
guild leaders, streamers, and hardcore players, were banned permanently.
Wow.
Exiled to the desert, never to be seen again. The Cacao event.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool. I like that. Finally, someone found a bug, abused it, and then things happened. Every good game should have something like that. They should have a situation where someone finds a bug, everyone starts abusing it, and then they all get banned. That should happen in every big game.
In December 2020, it was announced that Cacao Games, the Western publisher for Black Desert, would step down, giving full control to Pearl Abyss. Most players viewed this as a positive change. Cacao, whilst having a less than stellar reputation, wasn't all that bad though. In fact, they organised one of the coolest events in BDO's history. Cacao's team of GMs and CMs orchestrated a community event open to the entire player base. It was a campaign where players followed the GMs through a series of challenges and puzzles, unlocking prizes for the whole server as they progressed.
He disappeared. Okay, we have to be very quiet. Follow me and stay on your guard.
Said Divios, the world champ.
During the journey, players faced some of the server's most geared
Okay.
and skilled PvP players, all equipped with a pure black stone, an item which significantly boosted their stats. The story reached a theatrical climax with a surprising twist, pitting the party against a player powered up with all of the pure black stones. The entire event was streamed and coordinated by Cacao with minimal help from Pearl Abyss. It was a unique and passionately executed event by the people at Cacao Games, and one that anyone that participated in will never forget.
It looks like this guy's completely wiping the floor with absolutely, by the way, everything that exists. So, maybe slightly not actually that balanced, you know?
The pay-to-win protests. As mentioned earlier, Kakao didn't have the best reputation in the community. Despite promising the game wouldn't be pay-to-win, they began introducing questionable items into the cash shop only a few months after the game's launch. One such item was the Value Pack. At the time it sparked significant controversy, leading to a mass exodus of players, almost causing the game's demise. Although there's no chart to illustrate the massive population drop as this was pre-Steam, the game went from being vibrant and thriving to a deserted wasteland. The remaining players, however, didn't stay silent and protested the best way they could. Guilds in both NA and EU collectively changed their guild icons to express their dissatisfaction with the predatory monetization. Since castle-holding guild icons appeared in every city, this protest even made some news in the mmorpg scene. The protest.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, the smaller the community, honestly, the easier it is for them all to come together. Remember the World of Warcraft things happened with the breast milk and whatnot? Yeah, there were some people who were sitting out in the main cities then and being like, Blizzard bad, and then a lot of people just passed them and looked at them like idiots. Yeah. Well, these types of things are pretty cool when everyone's waving a flag. This has happened in what else? Runescape, I remember. The Falador incident when it took place. Because originally the Falador incident was, well, a protest. Pretty wild stuff.
Protests lasted a few months, but eventually players just started to accept the new monetization. The game's population slowly started to grow again, and whoever was in charge of the game's monetization realised that the player base and their wallets were nicely lubed up and ready to take an even bigger fist.
Yeah, I've paid €100 for this game. Like, you have as well, haven't you, Greg? Like, why should I have to spend another €30 to get a ghillie suit? Why is that fair? Like, why should I have to do that?
The first international...
A ghillie suit? What? Is that even... Is he even talking about BDO at that point?
Tournament. Like all PvP games, Black Desert has had its fair share of EU vs NA drama. However, since MMOs usually lack ways to bridge the gap between servers, this mainly serves as fodder for forum.
Dude, look at that, how everyone's just lagging out and spazzing and appearing at random places. Ah, that's what ping does, boys.
Ways to bridge the gap between servers.
What it is.
This mainly serves as fodder for forum warriors engaging in debates over who boasted the best players and guilds. After many years though, this ongoing debate could finally be settled. Kakao Games organised a 3v3 tournament in each region to determine the best players who would represent their region at TwitchCon 2018. Following a close 2-2 result, NA emerged victorious, winning the show match and earning the title of the strongest region.
Okay. What's even happening here? Are the winners just two guys on a sliver HP? Yeah, it looks like just two people with a sliver of HP survived. I'm not gonna lie, BDO PvP doesn't seem that skill-based, or was this super close? Did anyone even understand what's happening here? I mean, let's watch this again, shall we? Yeah, look at that. I have no... Dude, this is worse than World of Warcraft retail. There's just stuff happening. Shuriken stings from the sky. Wild.
EU hasn't emotionally recovered since. The Russian siege. 3v3 battles between regions became a reality, but the dream of having a full-on siege between two servers remained just that.
Ooh, that would be pretty good. That would be pretty spicy and saucy, huh? I would love to see that.
Dream. After Pearl Abyss assumed full publishing control of every server though, that dream started turning into a reality. Initially, the Korean server faced off against the Southeast Asian ones, resulting in a one-sided fight.
Yeah, that's a lot of giant explosions.
Favouring the Koreans, who were way ahead in terms of gear and experience. Then, in February 2022, Pearl Abyss organised a clash between the European and Russian servers.
Wait, was that thing's name Copium? Yup, Copium's Field HQ, nice.
Between the European and Russian servers. Yeah, not the best timing. The siege was cancelled after 2 fights, with each region claiming a victory. 2 workers, 1 node. What if I told you that you could send...
That sounds familiar. Dude, when I... 2 Girls 1 Cup existed when we were around 11. I watched it and I liked it. I don't even know why people were so mad.
2 workers to 1 node. Enter the biggest scandal in the BDO content creator scene, Blade Bokez, a massively popular life skill guru who got banned by Kakao Games for exploiting a bug. This bug allowed him to send multiple workers to 1 node, effectively doubling the amount of resources he could gather. This stirred up a huge debate at the time, and Blade made numerous attempts to clear his name and prove his innocence. If you're into the drama and want all
Did he actually succeed?
the details, there's hours of videos and reads available online about this topic. However, the legendary 2 workers 1 node will forever be a cherished meme in the BDO community. But that's it for this video. As
That's a good name. 2 workers, 1 node. That's on point, boys.
always, let me know your
Dang,
thoughts on
boy.
Black Desert Online, and what's your favourite memory with BDO? If you've never played BDO, are there any other legendary moments in MMO history that you were a part of? Help us out with a like to appease the algorithm gods. Social media on
Well, anyway, that was the Lazy Peon. Wow. Dude, BDO's pretty cool, and now it's less pay to win. That's, like, huge. Some of these situations are kind of like, they seem a little bit meh. If you probably go into the full details of what's happening here, especially I would love to actually see a full video on the puzzle thing, right? You know, here when they did stuff, that would probably be super cool, because that would be interesting. Whenever a game introduces some kind of super hard, complicated, convoluted puzzle, it's actually a blast to see a video where someone explains how it's solved, why it works, and whatnot. A couple of these situations are pretty wild and interesting, honestly. The whole server going against pay to win. And losing. The irony. Well, admittedly, you always lose against it, and yeah, you get looted up. Pretty funny. Pretty absolutely hilarious, honestly, even. Yeah. Well, that was BDO. A pretty interesting situation, huh? Anyway, this was Quizzer Sensei, and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.